Make your life better with a new job at UPS. Join Team Louisville as a warehouse worker, earn $14.50 plus up to $425 in weekly bonuses depending on shift. Search and apply now at upsjobs.com/Louisville. That's upsjobs.com/Louisville.
Exmark makes the mowers that care for the lawns that set the stage for the backyard life. As the commercial mowers more landscape pros trust, Exmark mowers get you on and off the lawn without compromising cut quality, comfort, or reliability. Exmark, official mowers of the backyard life, starting at $29.99. Learn about the available finance offers and check them out today at The Mower Shop, 7400 Preston Highway, Louisville, Kentucky, 502-969-6433.
CarMax is hiring experienced auto technicians for many of its 200-plus stores nationwide. If you're looking for a job where you can make a great living while working on the cars that you love, then CarMax is the place for you. Join CarMax to grow your technical expertise and work with state-of-the-art tools and technology. Work with the cars you love. Join CarMax. Apply today at CarMaxAutotech.com.
Back here on the V Show for the final hour here. We're going to have some, they call it The Open. So swanky. And we'll have some British.
The Open. It's like the Ohio State of the majors.
Oh, there you go.
By the way,
that's an interesting comparison.
Quick Tony Reale stat boy correction there. Justin Thomas is 2 over through 14. I read an old score on that one, but I didn't want to stammer, so I just decided to just say it. I mean, I wasn't wrong. When he was through 9, he was even, but right now he's 2 over through 14, so tied for 91st. So the local boy who hates local media and will come join us on the air is tied for 91st.
You're like a pull string doll. If you mention Justin Thomas, you have your thing that you've got to
I
say.
want to play with Justin Thomas. That's what I want. That is what I want, Jeffrey. And now that I'm a big softball star, I hope that he can.
He'll have heard about it.
Real recognizes real.
I bet while he's walking up the fairway on 18 after his tee shot today, his caddy is going to say, "Hey, you hear about the G bags back home?"
That's why he. I mean,
Nicky Valvano hit one to the stars.
He's not playing bad. He's 2 over, but I guarantee that's why he's gripping the club a little tight, swinging a little hard. Is because he's like, God, I can't believe the gas bags did that last night, man. I am lit.
He stayed up late in Scotland to get gas bag updates at the newsstand.
That's definitely what was going on.
Just like me.
with
little kid coming out with the little hook and the chalkboard thing, putting a score over in the bottom of the 7th inning to say what the score was.
I love the idea of little Jack Grossman as
what's the line? Remember, headlines don't sell newspapers, newsies sell newspapers. Is that the line?
Something along those lines. But I love the idea of the little cherubic face of
what a delight
of Jack Grossman.
He's off today, correct?
Yeah, he's enjoying it's a well-earned R&R. So Process and I are pulling double duty, but we're happy to do that because our boy Jack has to stay lovable and happy and not burned out. So
it was a borderline like movie scene level, trying to pull off two things at once, like Mrs. Doubtfire at the dinner meetings, with Jack hustling between the two studios for Louisville Sports Live and Lou City. And I was listening to the Mike Pegues segment that was on Louisville Sports Live, and I think it was Taylor Lynch who was like, Jack looks concerned. You see, he looks like he's struggling a little bit, bouncing between the two studios here.
No, I felt kind of bad because
that's a lot of heavy lifting.
We literally said in a meeting earlier this week, there was like, "Hey, what can we all do to kind of alleviate some of the stress on old Jackie boy?" And I was like, "Well, I can help out with Louisville Sports Live." And then it was sort of like that scene in Lord of the Rings. There will come a day when, the pride of men fall, but not this day. It was like there will come a day when I help you with LSL, Jack, but not this day.
But it won't be this day because I have a softball game.
Yeah, so I felt kind of bad. I was like, here, I'll get him started, but your boy has to go. And yeah, so I felt kind of bad. But hey, look, it was worth it. We got the dub. You guys were there in spirit. I don't know what's going to happen next week, because next week Jack and I are entering the Bats Media hot dog eating contest.
What time is the game?
6:15, and the hot dog eating contest is between the doubleheader that's taking place. So there's a puncher's chance we can at least.
What's the doubleheader times?
5:30. 5:30 first pitch for the first game. So if they're playing 2 7-inning games.
Yeah, you should be.
We should be able to. I'm not saying we have to stay for the whole game.
Are you going to show up in your gas bags uniform?
Oh, 100%. 100%. And I'd
please, if I ever ask you to do me one favor, in addition to trying to get me onto a few different golf courses,
right,
wear those extremely tight pants. Wear your like super tight sweatpants to the gas bags or to the Louisville Bats hot dog eating contest for all of us, please.
Do you want me to?
You're going to show up in a baby blue gas bags T-shirt that says Nikki V, sweaty,
horribly sweaty,
alongside a wonderful teammate whose jersey is going to just say Crean on it.
Yeah, and then we're going to be along the likes of gorgeous, healthy television people like John Bowl. And
I mean, come on, Jack is as gorgeous and healthy as anyone. He's a supreme athlete.
No, he is. I mean, radio guys. We're the total package. A little bit of looks mixed with a lot of personality. You know what I'm saying? But
Texter says that Jack's voice sounded slurred last night because he had been drinking that 48-ounce. He was playing Edward 40 hands while working the board.
That truly was gigantic. Like it was
one of the worst nights of my life was playing
Westwood
Edward.
One Sports presents the special
there it is.
the 149th British Open.
We could just talk through it.
Marcus by Goldman Sachs. Get a no-fee personal loan from Marcus by Goldman Sachs. Louis Oosthuizen, by far the best putter on tour this season, but major champions aren't always the guys with the best stats. He's finished second at the last 2 majors, but he's in the lead with the first round winding down at Royal St. George's. Try a 6-under 64 that started with 7 straight pars.
I think I probably would have taken 7 pars again. I've learned over the years playing major championships that patience is the key thing, and even if you make bogeys, know that a lot of people are going to make bogeys.
But he didn't. 6 birdies in the last 11 holes for Oosthuizen. Jordan Spieth and Brian Harman 5 under. Spieth looked in fine form in his first competitive round since the U.S. Open, where he tied for 19th. Webb Simpson in the afternoon wave shoots 4 under 66. He's 2 back. I'm Ted Emmerich, Westwood One Sports.
Marcus by Goldman Sachs offers personal loans with no fees, ever. Banks offer coffee. So what's more important? A Marcus by Goldman Sachs loan with no fees that could help consolidate debt, or bank coffee that tastes like bank coffee. You can money. Visit Marcus.com to learn more about saving, borrowing, and investing from Marcus by Goldman Sachs.
Investing involves risk and investments may lose value. Brokerage and investment advisory services by Goldman Sachs & Company, LLC. Member FINRA SIPC. Lending and deposits products provided by Goldman Sachs Bank USA. Member FDIC.
Enjoy a powerful business upgrade with Dell Technologies Black Friday and July event. Get amazing savings with up to 50% off high-performance computers and tech built for business, and be able to take your office with you with Windows 10 Pro. Plus, get great offers on Dell servers, monitors, docks, and more, all with easy financing options through Dell Financial Services. Call 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL, and speak to a Dell Technologies advisor today.
There you have it.
We misspoke earlier, by the way. Louis has won a major, but it was the Open, but it was back in 2010.
Oh, okay, there you go.
He's finished second at the Masters in 2012, PGA Championship this year, and also 2017, the U.S. Open this year, and also 2015, and he won the Open Championship in 2010. That's pretty good. He is a very, very, very good golfer.
He is.
He doesn't crush the ball like some of these guys. Did you see that? This always happens. Did you see the Bryson DeChambeau stuff, complaining about his driver? The guy just... I can't do it with this guy. I don't like... I cannot stand him.
I go back and forth with him, but he is very mercurial, I guess.
This is a quote from Golf Week. They called someone at Cobra to discuss his complaints about his driver. Here, I'm going to read you these 2 quotes, okay?
All right.
Everybody is bending over backwards. We've got multiple guys in R&D, research and development, who are computer-aided designing this and computer-aided designing that, CAD, C-A-D, trying to get this and that into the pipeline faster. Bryson knows it. It's just really, really painful when he says something that stupid. He has never really been happy ever. Like, it's rare when he's happy. Now he's in a place where he's swinging a 5-degree driver with 200 RPM of ball speed. Everybody's looking for a magic bullet. Well, the magic bullet becomes harder and harder to find the faster you swing and the lower your loft gets. So that's a guy who works for the company that makes the driver that he is using and complaining about.
That seems like a very interesting relationship between those two.
It certainly does, doesn't it?
Are they? I mean, that would be like the equivalent of what? Like Kawhi Leonard just burying New Balance and then New Balance saying that, well, screw you, Claw. Like, you know how hard it is to have shoes that do X, Y, and Z? Like, wow, that's tumultuous, but interesting. I mean, the dude is, like it or not, I mean, as quirky as he is and his personality is, I
don't think he's quirky. I think he's a jerk.
I don't know. I go back and forth. I really do. But I lean towards disliking him, but
I mean, he didn't care what we think.
No, not at all. But like, that's why I almost kind of don't feel terrible speaking ill of him, because he seems like a guy that just does not care. He's sort of like, he's just so socially awkward. I feel like he doesn't. You can't care at that point.
I always talk about this. This is like, this is my friend Tom. It's 2 hours.
Ricky Fowler, freshest man in golf on
Absolutely.
On the television.
Super cool.
I have to give a shout out to that.
Oh, this is my friend Tom. He's kind of you might think he's a jerk. He's a little off-putting, but that's just Tom. No, Tom's a jerk, and you've put up with him for however many years.
Yeah,
sorry,
it's
Bryson.
one of those things.
He's quirky. No, he's a jerk.
Right.
I've had enough. Every week it's something new with this guy.
But the question I guess could be, is he good for the game? Because how much have we freaking talked about golf and it wasn't Tiger?
I know. I
mean, Rory.
Until this summer, I don't think I have ever said a word about golf on these airwaves.
Seriously. I mean, besides maybe a little bit, sprinkle in a little lefty and sprinkle in a little bit of Rory. Golf, I mean, him and Koepka have been the most talked about golf guys, and they have marketable stars. That was the thing. I thought, like, in the absence of Tiger, you had the Ricky Fowler, the Justin Thomas, the local product, Jordan Spieth. You had a bunch of Henrik Stenson, your boy Louis Oosthuizen. You had a bunch of guys Dustin Johnson, John Rahm, a little bit marketable guys that had moments here and there, but there just wasn't a guy that just grabbed the headlines.
Yes,
and I don't know, him and Koepka, but mostly him. Seemingly have. And Chip Patterson of CBS Sports, I'm going to give him a buzz here in just a second. He has our local boy as his pick to win the Open.
Golden boy.
Maybe you can ask Chip why he won't come on and do interviews with us. I'm not
Chip's
salty.
about to do an interview. Oh, you mean Justin Thomas?
No, yeah, Justin Thomas.
We'll ask that first.
Yeah, I'm not, and here's the thing, I'm not mad. I have to clarify. Don't hate Justin Thomas.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
I'm just, I'm hungry. I'm thirsty. I'm thirsty for a Justin Thomas interview. That's all. I don't know if you heard Process's little.
I heard him start to giggle a little bit about the odd nature of that comment. We should call Chip, have him on, and then basically not talk about golf at all. And just,
I mean, I'm okay with that.
And just ask him. I mean, he does cover college football and college basketball, so maybe we should do that. That sounds more fun than...
He recently, I mean, it was a little while ago, but he wrote a piece ranking the ACC coaches. And I think he had Satterfield as 11th in the...
Defend yourself! Yeah, here we go. I'm bringing it up right now. We're gonna start with that. We're gonna throw. You're gonna say, "Hey, you want to come on and talk a little British Open? Why do you have Sat 11th?" I got to see the list first. As long as Narduzzi is ahead of Satterfield, I'm happy with the list. Narduzzi is 6th. Is this the one that was passed around on the internet and everyone was mad about? It is. Oh, okay. Yeah, he's got Satterfield 11th. Dropped from 6th. Wowzers. This is significant for people who might be frustrated that we get a chance
Who's won?
Who do you think?
Say it.
I appreciate
Mac Brown.
Yeah,
Kidding, Dabo.
You're damn right it is. Dabo's to God.
Okay. This is the longest conversation that I have ever seen someone have before they come on the radio. There's presumably a Genesis Diamonds read that I haven't been sent yet. This is truly terrific radio.
It's,
what are
you can't tap dance.
Inviting him to the family reunion for 10 minutes?
You couldn't tap dance for 10 freaking seconds. I was talking to Chip. He was asking.
Did you breathe?
Did
you breathe between sentences?
I did.
Okay.
So that texter can, yeah.
That was funny.
Kick rocks.
That was funny. I like when texters make fun of us.
What's your favorite term for like going to pack sand or something? Pack sand, kick rocks. I always like to say
Isn't it pound sand.
Go play kickball in traffic. That's my favorite.
Stick an egg in your shoe and beat it. I love that one.
That's a good one.
All right, let's bring Chip on.
Yeah, Chip. Yeah, sorry.
Thank you. Yeah. Hey, Chip Patterson, what's going on, my friend? How are you?
Hello, Jeff. I responded in all caps, yes, when I heard that Jeff Greer was going to be in. That's who I would be speaking to. I was very, very excited. I'm doing well, man. How are you doing?
I was like a 6 out of 10, and then I heard your voice, and now I'm like a 9 out of 10. So you've raised my spirits quite significantly, my friend. Before we get to some golf, you caused a little ruffling of the feathers with your ACC coaches power rankings a couple of days ago. I guess it was about a week ago now. Defend yourself. Defend your honor, my friend. As we look here, for people who don't know, Scott Satterfield ranks 11th here. And just behind Mike Norvell, just ahead of Justin Fuente, who is very much on the hot seat this season at Virginia Tech. But what was your thought process for putting these rankings together? First of all, how do you do them?
Well, I'm not the only voter. These come from the consensus coach rankings. So I guess there's maybe a dozen of us, but it's the writers and the editors at CBSSports.com. We get to blame Tom Fornelli for everything, so blame Tom Fornelli. But I'm a voter, and you put them up 1 to 65, and I think I try in the post because each of us have to write up basically the consensus. Like it's a 1 through 65 list. We pluck them out. The thing that I thought was interesting about the ACC is that you've got a whole bunch of coaches between like 25 and 40. Like it is like the entire bloated middle of the entire Power Five is just filled with 10 ACC coaches. There's like Dino Babers was really low, and I think Justin Fuente was really low. And then at the very top, you've got Dabo Swinney and Mac Brown. But all the rest of the ACC exists in this space between like 20 and 40. So in my rankings, when I'm taking them out, Satterfield is 11th. If I remember off the top of my head, Satterfield's somewhere in the 50s. I will say our voting body is really, really harsh on first-time Power 5 coaches. Like there's some voters who almost say, like, especially if you're a first-time head coach, so Scott Satterfield is certainly not, you basically have to start at the bottom. Like a Jeff Hafley is going to start in the 60s at Boston College until he starts to make a move up. So what I found in my analysis of where Scott Satterfield ranked among his peers is that there's a big time like pumping of the brakes from what I see as maybe an overachievement in year one, and then expectations get adjusted. And then when you fall short of them, it leads to sort of a recalibration period. And I think that that's what this upcoming season is. And that's the way that I'm defining it in my analysis is like 2021 is a recalibration period for Louisville football. And I imagine that it won't take much just because, I don't know, like Satterfield, it seems to be Satterfield's somebody who I like to hear talk about his team and about football. I think that he seems to be pleasant to be around in the limited time that I've spent, and so it won't take much for his ranking to turn around. I do think that there's some recency bias in the way that they fell short of expectations this past season. Yeah, and it certainly, look, the offseason hasn't been terrible for Louisville football, but the South Carolina flirtations
not great. That just does not help. It's not ideal to build up the momentum. You want to come off a season like that and say, you know what, that wasn't good enough. Here's what we're going to do. And instead it's, that wasn't good enough. And also, wait, hold on, I'm getting a phone call here. 1 second. Okay, forget about that. It wasn't good enough. It's just not, it doesn't work like that, especially with a program that has had lots of success in at least over the last decade, in the last 20 years, especially with Bobby Petrino and Charlie Strong, and a good first season with Scott Satterfield. We're talking with Chip Patterson from CBS Sports. Give me your kind of idea of how the ACC breaks down, and we will. I promise we'll talk a little bit about the British Open here in a second. But how do you see it's always Clemson and everybody else, but how do you see the rest of the league stacking up in terms of which teams can get to that second spot and I don't know, maybe challenge Clemson at some point?
Clemson and then Miami and North Carolina are like a definitive touchdown, maybe 10 points behind Clemson. Then for the number 4 spot, if you trust that Justin Fuente can turn it around, maybe you say Virginia Tech. If you want to do the hey, friend, could argue Pitt. You could say Pitt in that number 4 spot.
I like that.
And I think the other potential candidate for number 4 is NC State. So yeah, Clemson at the top, at least a touchdown, maybe 10 points behind them are Miami and North Carolina. And who does or doesn't play well. Both of those programs are very familiar with falling short when big expectations are placed on them. So, basically be yourself in that game. Don't be Miami. Miami shouldn't get 60 hung on them at home by North Carolina. Like, that shouldn't have happened. Credit to the Tar Heels for just running the score up because it was very, very impressive. But, whoever is the best version of themselves between Miami and North Carolina on that particular day, I'll take them. They're battling for that 2 and 3 spot. But for number 4, it's NC State, it's Pitt, and it's Virginia Tech. And then it gets a little bit more confusing, I think, after that.
Well, I know that after the NIL deal that Kenny Pickett just signed with a local restaurant for their weekly dinners with the offensive line, if that is a sign of things to come, I think Pitt might go 12-0 this coming season. That's how I feel.
Listen, it's a brasserie. How 29-year-old
so
Kenny
classy.
Pickett.
I bet they have great cheese boards.
Classy. That guy has not had to worry about having a fake ID for years.
His hair looks resplendent in the photo. Yeah, absolutely resplendent. Well, our dutiful, hardworking producer here, Nikki V, tells me that you have made your selection, and it's a local guy for the British Open. You've got Justin Thomas as your guy. It's still early, not off to a great start, but he's still got some time.
Yeah, I do think that we might have shut the door on him being able to win. He could still turn this around and have a pretty good, overall kind of week. Finish, I don't know, up in the top 10, top 20. But I think that he needs, with the way that the scoreboard, the leaderboard has broken down so far, with Louis Oosthuizen at 6 and Spieth at 5. I just think that JT needed to give himself a little bit of a better chance moving forward. Like, he needed to be a little bit more within 4 shots of the lead, and we just didn't get that. But here, listen, I picked him because I loved what I saw in the Scottish Open last week. He was just excellent on Sunday, shot like a 65 earlier in the day, kind of pressured the lead a little bit, was number 1 in the field in scrambling. And, when you see somebody play well in Scotland and then they're going to South England and you're thinking about the golf course and what kind of player you want, what kind of game you want to back, I thought that Justin Thomas, who did not play well at British Opens early in his career, I was calling my shot, thinking that this would be a place for one of the 3 best players in the world, a guy who doesn't have any holes in his game. It's where he can really stand out.
Perfectly sound logic. I am so in on Louis Oosthuizen. I need my guy to. I know he's won one before. He's been so close. He's just missed a couple of times. I felt like the last majors that I have watched, obviously the two where he finished second this year, it felt like every time the camera cut to him taking a shot, he was like nano inches away from making like a sick shot that would change the whole course of the tournament, and just missed. And I just feel like he's so close. Something's got to give for this poor guy. I know he's won the Open before, so I'm hoping that this is his week.
I'm writing up I'm doing the leaderboard breakdown on CBSSports.com right now. I'm obviously pre-writing because most of the guys at the top are done or even played in the morning wave. But it's 6 straight, not 6 straight, but since winning his first major championship at St. Andrews in 2010, he has finished as a runner-up 6 times without a win since then. That's not you just anecdotal. Like, he has been a part of Sunday afternoon at major championships over and over and over again. And the role that he has played is like as this perpetual runner-up. Of course him winning would be awesome. And like it being an Open championship again, that's the other thing is with Spieth. Like, Spieth was the last at the top of his game at the Open in 2017. And really after that into the playoffs. But like 2017, we generally say Jordan Spieth was arguably the best in the world, without a doubt the best iron player in the world, and he has gotten lost in the woods, and he has come back. Really in the last maybe 4 or 5 months, we saw it. Obviously, we saw him win, but he's got 8 top 10s in his last 14 starts, and I'm like, oh, that would be a cool storyline too. So give me Louis or give me Spieth, both winners at the British Open before, so you know that they've got the headspace, like they've got the game down. They understand what needs to be done. It's just a matter of keeping it all together over the next 54 holes.
Yeah, and a lot of pressure. It's so difficult to win these tournaments at any level. It doesn't matter. We saw with some of these playoffs that have happened over the last couple of weeks. It doesn't matter if it's a major or not. It is very difficult to close the door on these tournaments. The last one then for you, we're talking with Chip Patterson of CBS Sports. Chip, I'm perusing some of these different betting odds. I know the tournament has already started, so that probably is going to influence your mind here and your thinking. But Brooks Koepka was plus 1,600 to win. So is Rory at plus 1,600. Jordan Spieth plus 1,800, and Oosthuizen plus 3,000. Which one is the best value, do you think, for those odds and their chances? Is it Oosthuizen at plus 3,000?
Well, it's either that or Spieth, I would say. Like, if you were looking at live, I don't have any live odds pulled up right now. I'll probably wait until after the round. Again, that's more content that we're working on here in the CBS Sports content factory. But my guess is that the best value, like you mentioned Koepka. Koepka's not out of it. Like, that's somebody who is further back on the leaderboard than the odds makers are going to have him, because there's a really good shot that Brooks Koepka could end up winning. So, Uzi as the leader, not going to have a great value. Spieth, not going to have a great value. I think the value play might be Webb Simpson. He has had kind of he had a really hot start in 2021. Had kind of a rough go of it for about 6 weeks. He was dealing with a neck strain. He had 2 missed cuts in a row. And I don't know, that's another golfer who has to play with a little creativity. He's like, we saw Bryson, he's not out of it, but we saw him struggle. We saw him really fight his game today. The super bombers, the guys who are just point and shoot, like that's not going to work here. And I think that Simpson's got the kind of game where I could have always seen him like winning an Open championship, but it's been pretty good for him as well. So if you want the value play on like the updated live odds, I don't hate a Weber play at whatever odds they are.
I love it. Well, we're going to be monitoring. A lot of people are going to be hoping that your pick, Justin Thomas, surges back and shoots like 28 under over the next 3 days. I know that's virtually impossible.
Historic. We'd turn it into a Maker's Mark bottle, that's for sure.
And then you and I would consume it at our next meeting together, my friend. That would be delightful. We actually, Nick, I don't know if I've ever told you this. Chip and I were part of a small cluster at an ACC football media days a few years ago. We finished the bourbon. We stayed there at the happy hour and finished all of the bourbon and whiskey that they had. Do you remember this, Chip? I think it was 2018, 17. Charlotte?
I mean, it's not like there's a long trail of media hospitality rooms that I feel like I'm a part of shutting down.
Fair enough. That's good. The Queen City never knew what was about to hit it. So I appreciate that. Well, Chip, thank you so much for a few minutes of your time. Get back to work in the content factory.
Sounds good. Y'all be well.
All right. See you, Chip. Truly a delightful human.
I love that guy.
Just brings
Chip.
up the spirits when you chat.
He speaks a lot of sports, too. You can get to talk a little football, talk a little basketball, talk a little squirrel. You could talk a little golf. I mean, a little bit of everything. I'm
wobbling like the moon will be in the 2030s just now from the squirrel. Yes.
Wait. What? No,
you didn't hear about this? The moon is apparently going to wobble off of its usual pattern to create historic levels of flooding across the world in coastal areas in the 2030s.
Oh, because of the gravitation.
High tide's going to be higher than it's ever been. Or so I saw a headline.
How big a deal is this?
It's a big deal. It's not good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not good. Throwing a little global warming. And, fantastic. So
let's. We got another Westwood thing. It's 2:40. Come on.
It's at 16 and 46.
46. So we have 6 minutes.
Let's take a little break.
Beautiful. Love it. We'll get a Westwood One update, and then a Process is going to stop by for the final 10 minutes.
Yeah. Actually, wait. Let me look at where we are in the schedule. No, you know what? Let's just keep it here. We'll do the Westwood One update. Shoot, I'm trying to think of how to do this here. I'm going to combine them. I'm going to do a little break here, and then that'll go into the Westwood One update.
Got it. So I'm going to go eat a chicken wing.
That's going to be the game plan, but I just want to get your thoughts on this before we get because I need about 2 minutes here. I just need to tap dance for 2 minutes. Did you see
this? Feels like we're closing the margins on a term paper a little bit.
Oh no, this is 100% just trying to hit that word
2.1 double space
and just trying to get that word count. And we're just and in conclusion, as you can see in the final parts of my paper, that with this conclusion I state that it's one of those things. We're just killing some clock here. But Coca-Cola, they're making a new Coke Zero. And people are already saying that it's going to suck because of new Coke.
Yeah, they've screwed up. They've screwed it up so famously that everyone's mad about it.
I never got to try.
People are still mad about it, and that was 36 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, I want to tell you this crazy story. Well, we've got time.
No, that's fine.
Did you hear about the guy? It was on ESPN.com. It was like a headline. It was one of the top headlines on the website last night. This odds maker, who works at the Las Vegas sportsbook Circa Sports, had to make a 53-point adjustment to the over-under on the WNBA All-Star game.
Huh.
What a I was going to start swearing. What a colossal mess up. 53 points.
How do you miss that?
He didn't know that it was WNBA All-Stars versus the USA national team, so it was going to be a little bit more of a serious game, so it wasn't going to be like 130 to 125.
Okay, all right. Still, that's a big miss, but that's fair, I suppose.
That's insane. So he scrambled into work to try to salvage this moment. It was 248.5, and he hustled in and changed it to 195.5 by the time the game tipped off.
Did anybody get it?
I'm guessing a lot of people hit it because we, as we know from our friends who bet, they are paying close attention to that stuff and want to try to find solid value to get in on bets. That is absolutely one that if anyone's paying any attention to that kind of stuff, they're probably, and they are, because people who bet know stuff that I'm just like, what? Oh yeah, did you hear the backup second baseman for the San Francisco Giants has a bum big toe?
Yeah.
No, but that's why I'm betting taking the under in the Athletics Giants game tonight. The A's Giants. It's at 11.5. That's great value.
It is incredible. It's incredible, these people that know these. It's a proven system, Jeff.
Yeah.
There were guys that used to come on the air and they said something about, like, in the NHL, it was automatic if it was a family weekend. Like, the family, traveled with the team, that it was automatic. Like, take the traveling team puck line or something.
Wow.
It was insane. All right, let's
boost in energy.
Let's take a break here, and then we'll get our update in this break.
Westwood One Sports presents this special report on the 149th British Open, sponsored by Prevagen. Prevagen is the most recommended memory support brand by pharmacists. About an hour until sunset at Royal St. George's, Louis Oosthuizen leads at 6 under. Brian Harman and Jordan Spieth right behind at 5 under. Harman was sizzling early. 3 straight birdies to start the day.
Yeah, you don't want to be playing catch-up in majors. I've definitely gotten burnt doing it a couple times. Like this year, the PGA kind of got behind the 8 ball for the first round, and you start pressing, you start making some mistakes. So I'm just going to try to keep going what I had going today and see what the course gives me.
Harman missed the cut in each of his previous 4 appearances at the Open. He'll have to blow up tomorrow for that to happen again. 5 players at 4 under: Mackenzie Hughes, Dylan Fratelli, 2009 Open champion Stuart Sink, Benjamin Hebert, and Webb Simpson. Somehow Phil Mickelson won the PGA in May. He shoots 10 over 80 today. I'm Ted Emmerich, Westwood One Sports.
I am Robert Strickler. My wife Joyce and I have been married for 53 years. Certainly one of the really important things in my life are our children and our grandchildren. I am essentially a writer. I've been involved in communications in the media. I've been an avid fly fisherman for at least 40 or more years. I've been taking Prevagen on a regular basis for at least 8 years. For me, the greatest benefit over the years has been that Prevagen seems to help me recall things and also think more clearly, have a crisper ability to remember and think through things. And I enthusiastically recommend Prevagen. It has helped me an awful lot.
Prevagen, healthier brain, better life. Robert Strickler is a content contributor for Prevagen and real user, based on a clinical study of subgroups of individuals who are cognitively normal or mildly impaired. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
You're listening to The V Show on ESPN 680 and 105.7. Now, in for Bob Valvano, it's Jeff Greer, Nick Valvano, and the cult of personality, The Process.
We're back. And
Indeed.
Process is here.
Yeah, this song, I like it. It's Daughters. It's like a Dark Cloud kind of song. I dig it. Some noise rock action for you. It's the stuff I'm afraid to play on Drew's show because I know he'll judge me super hard.
What kind of music does Drew listen to? Like yacht rock?
Country, yacht rock. Yeah, no, I listen to everything that Drew doesn't listen to, so good music.
What is yacht rock exactly?
It's like the Eagles.
Sailing.
Steely Dan.
Take me away to
Jimmy Buffett?
Christopher Cross.
Yeah, it's pretty relaxing music, basically.
Okay.
Something you listen to on a yacht.
Like I felt like I got
Oh, yacht rock. That's like dictionary.com. What does run mean? Definition: to run. Thank you. This rock and roll on a yacht.
Rapid succession.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Mike Pratt likes yacht rock. Drew likes yacht rock and bro country. He's talking about how Coldplay's great because they sell out stadiums. I'm like, that doesn't make them great. That just means they make music people, can all mass appeal listen to.
Pratt likes Motown too.
He does like Motown.
Pratt likes Motown.
We had a
Flex
Motown
standards
day like 2 months ago. It was fun.
Yeah, no, Motown's good.
Dan Issel almost did a backflip in his damn chair yesterday. He was when I played Friends in Low Places. I'm like, Dan, I want to cut your mic off. Like, I don't want you to like continue listening to this. This is terrible.
Did he likes Friends in Low Places?
Yeah, he loves country music. I played Everlong because I didn't have,
but not bro country. He likes
he likes like Hack
90s
Wilson
country
and all those guys.
Yeah, but prior, okay.
They're not Hack Wilson. Hank Williams.
Hack
Wilson. Hack Wilson's a baseball player. Hank Williams is a
Hack
country
Wilson
singer.
is one of the all-time great, like, what if type guys.
Yeah.
I actually read a biography about him a long time ago.
Did you really?
Yeah. It was poorly written, but it was fun.
I feel like
he's a Hall of Famer.
If you ask somebody like, "What's a biography you've read?" I find most people give a very interesting answer because they go, "Why the hell would you decide? Yes, I'm going to pick this biography up and read it."
Well, I like reading about people who were influential who I didn't know why they were influential.
Right, that makes sense.
And like I'm reading the John Adams biography now. I know why he's influential on a surface level, but I want to learn more about why, like the real detail of it.
Did you watch the
of course, yeah.
the
I already
HBO
know
thing?
Oh yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
Very one of my favorite ones. But Hack Wilson, I was obsessed with baseball when I was around your age, right out of college, and in college I was obsessed with it. I was like a big stat head. I watched baseball all the time, and Hack Wilson had a season, 1930, with the Chicago Cubs, when he hit. His batting average was .356. His OBP was .454. OPS 1.177.
Damn.
56 homers, 191 runs batted in.
Wow. Which is still unbroken, right? To this day,
I believe that is the all-time record. Yes.
Yeah,
Never won an
absurd.
MVP.
What?
He finished the year before that. He finished 8th in MVP voting in 1929 with 39 homers, 159 runs batted in, and hit .345.
Did you know that Babe Ruth is only a one-time MVP because the rule was that you could win the MVP just one time at that point?
Well, Hack Wilson never won it once.
That's garbage.
When did he play again?
The 30s.
Hack Wilson?
Yeah.
1923 to 1934. But I think he had, if my memory serves from the biography, he had a really bad drinking problem that kind of sidelined his career. So anyway, to circle back to the...
That was beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a really delightful piano. To circle back to the discussion here, because I know it's good to kind of segue into what the next show is going to be talking about. The Take. They're going to be talking about Sidney Curry. They're going to be talking about Marcus Carr. They're going to be talking about Kofi Coburn. Although I think they talked more about Coburn yesterday when the news kind of was more out about him. I got a message from someone I trust who knows Sidney Curry from when he was more of a Kansas bound. He says, I'm a fan, really powerful player. He has limitations on both sides of the ball, but I think he'll be an instant contributor. And that's what Louisville needs. They just needed depth at that position until Roosevelt Wheeler is ready to go.
I feel like there's too much celebrating, though. I feel like if people if people treated him as what he is, which is a depth piece, then I'd be like, yeah, it's a good pickup. But everybody's like, oh my God, he's going to come in, he's going to dunk the ball all the time, it's going to be awesome, and our front court is now set because we have this one specific guy who played in JUCO and shot 70%, which is absurd, but it was in JUCO.
People just get excited about something that's new.
Right.
That's really the extent of it. People get excited about something that is new and something that is different. And Louisville has been looking for players to add all summer.
And no one's dunked it, so I feel like...
I mean, look, I think they've hit all their spots
There's
and
a
things they've
little
needed
something
to, address. Their shooting and their, front court and their dunking and things like that. They've addressed all those things. But I'm not going to go, oh man, Sidney Curry, that's a huge pickup. Great for you guys, you did it. I would have been way more excited about obviously Marcus Carr. I think that's a fair, assessment.
Yeah,
Malik Williams coming back is a bigger deal. Like I feel like they're not making a big enough deal about the things they're bringing back or the new other guys they're bringing in. But Sidney Curry, it feels otherworldly excitement for some reason. I don't understand it.
It is slightly bizarre.
Who else? But I agree that everyone, and I think part of it is only because it's exacerbated by the fact that Kofi Coburn's not going to UK.
Well, that
so the red side feels like they can flex.
But if you're not little brother, then why are you sitting there doing backflips because one guy's not going to your rival? Like that's just a little brother
everything,
thing.
Yeah, okay. Well,
now you're
overplaying your hand. Now you're
dancing into the rivalry
because
stuff.
UK would have done the exact same thing. On the other hand, but I do think that it is. Carr would have been the bigger pickup. By the way, we have that Bet Rivers Twitter poll, which was the bigger recruiting miss: Carr and U of L, Kofi and UK, and currently the voting is 72% Kofi and UK. To the 28.
It's not entirely a miss if, like, Louisville was, and Texter pointed this out earlier. It's a fair point. Louisville was never considered a leader for Marcus Carr.
And that's true.
Everyone immediately said, "Oh, Kofi Coburn's coming back to college. He's going to contend."
But as Process said, that was the need, though. The need. The U of L had a bigger need for Carr than UK did for Coburn, because the talk was how are you going to mesh with Shibwe, whereas Carr was basically, here are the keys, buddy, drive it.
Yeah, Carr was expected, if he came in, to be basically a better version of what Carly Jones and David Johnson were. He was supposed to be this, the leader of the entire offense. Coburn was, the problem with the Coburn thing is it was all but sure, like Jeff said. He was going to UK, and at the 11th hour, he's like, nah, I'm just kidding, I'm probably staying in Illinois. Like, you go out and you get Antigua and Shin Coleman. I feel like with the mindset that you can get a guy like Kofi Coburn for this exact, situation, and you can't get him. That's got to be a huge problem for UK. If I'm a UK fan, I'm upset about this. Jeff?
Yeah, and the fallout from it of some people, I know not everyone has been saying this, but the fallout of they weren't really recruiting him. Come on. That's
if you have a chance to go get an impact player and you have all this mentally invested into it, you're obviously going to get it. I mean, if it's down to your team and somebody else's team and it's leaning your team, you're not going to go after an impact player, somebody that can make you
an All-American
a top
center.
5 team.
Yeah, right. An All-American center. I mean, that's a whole different.
The talk was if you get Coburn, you can compete with Gonzaga and Texas, right? I mean, that was the mentality. That's what I was hearing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Last thing then, because I know we're down to the final couple minutes here, a couple seconds, I think. How much time do we got?
You got about 1 minute.
1 minute.
Wonderful.
Did you know, Process?
Did I know?
That Jordan Matthews lives in Louisville.
Jordan Matthews, the football player?
The wide receiver.
Why does he live here?
His wife is on Racing Louisville.
Is she really?
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Shayna Matthews, who is on the Jamaican national team also.
Okay, if I have, real quick, you have a chance to get Mike Evans or Odell Beckham or Sammy Watkins, who's not that great anyway, but you get Jordan Matthews out of the greatest wide receiver class in history. It lets me down. It bums me out and it makes me sad. All right, that's it. Shout out Christina Applegate. Close it out.
All right, the take's up next. See you later, everybody. Have a good weekend.
Make your life better with a new job at UPS. Join Team Louisville as a warehouse worker, earn $14.50 plus up to $425 in weekly bonuses depending on shift. Search and apply now at upsjobs.com/Louisville. That's upsjobs.com/Louisville.
Exmark makes the mowers that care for the lawns that set the stage for the backyard life. As the commercial mowers more landscape pros trust, Exmark mowers get you on and off the lawn without compromising cut quality, comfort, or reliability. Exmark, official mowers of the backyard life, starting at $29.99. Learn about the available finance offers and check them out today at The Mower Shop, 7400 Preston Highway, Louisville, Kentucky, 502-969-6433.
CarMax is hiring experienced auto technicians for many of its 200-plus stores nationwide. If you're looking for a job where you can make a great living while working on the cars that you love, then CarMax is the place for you. Join CarMax to grow your technical expertise and work with state-of-the-art tools and technology. Work with the cars you love. Join CarMax. Apply today at CarMaxAutotech.com.